This video is about relations. So first we need to review some coordinate plane vocabulary. So remember, a coordinate plane is like this picture here. You have an x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, and the y-axis, which is the vertical axis. Where those two axes meet, in the center here, that's called the origin. Okay, and that's 0.00. And the way I wrote that, that's called an ordered pair. So x goes first and then y in ordered pairs, so it's alphabetical. So if I had the ordered pair, let's say a is -2, 3. So the x value is -2, so that would be my horizontal value, so I'd go left 2. And then my y value, or my vertical value, is +3, so I'd go up 3. And I would put a point there, and that would be point A. We also have quadrants in our coordinate plane. This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So I remember that as it makes a C for coordinate plane. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the order you would go through those. Okay, and again, those are called quadrants. So vocabulary, a relation is a set of ordered pairs. So for example, if I had 0, 2 is one ordered pair, 2, 3, and 2, 5. Okay, and we show that as a set using these squiggly brackets. That is a set of ordered pairs, so that would be a relation. And then the domain is the set of all of the x values of our relation. So the domain is the set, so we use those squiggle brackets, all the x values. So there's a 0 and a 2, and I try and write those in order. And there's 2 twice, but if it repeats, you don't have to write it twice. And then the range is the set of y values, which we have 2, 3, and 5. So there's different ways that we can represent relations. We can represent them in ordered pairs like we did in the previous one. We can also represent them as tables, graphs, or mappings. And so we have this set of ordered pairs. Got the other squiggle bracket of 2, 5, -2, 3, 5, -2, and -1, -2. So that's already a set, our relation in ordered pairs, but we're going to write them as a table, a graph, and a mapping. So as a table, we're making an XY chart. So I try and put my x values in order, just so everyone has the same. So -2 would be the smallest, and that goes with 3. Then -1, -2, 2, 5, and 5, -2. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be in order. I just like writing them that way. So everyone's is the same. So then graphing, remember x and y axis, and you just graph the points. So you can do them off the original relation or you can do them off your chart. So I'm going to do them off my chart. -2, 3, so that's left 2 for x and up 3 for y. -1, -2 would be left 1 and down 2. 2, 5 would be +2, so right 2 and up 5. And +5, -2, right 5, and down 2. That is my relation on the coordinate plane. Then I can also use them as a mapping. So in mappings we kind of have ovals or circles. You can also use rectangles. And the left side is the x and the right is the y. Sometimes you also see D and R for domain and range. It doesn't matter which way. So we have -2 negative 1, 2, and 5 for my x values, and my y's, I have negative 2, 3, and 5. And I'm going to write those in order, and then the negative 2 repeats, so I don't need to write that twice. Okay, and then to finish your mapping, you actually have to connect them so we know what number goes with which. So for example, negative 2 for x goes with 3, so I would draw a line from negative 2 to 3. Negative 1 goes to negative 2, so I would draw that line. 2 to 5, and 5 also goes to negative 2, so I have 2 lines going up to my negative 2. And that's how you do mapping. It also says do the domain and range. And so it's actually nice that I did my mapping the way I did. The domain is already in order there. Negative 2, negative 1, 2, and 5. Okay, and then the range, again, I already put them in order, so that's helpful. Negative 2, 3, and 5. And now, it looks like there's a different number. That's because the range, we had one number duplicate, and we don't need to write that twice. And that's all there is for relations.